How's everybody doing tonight? And we're going to talk about Houston and Philadelphia. And then we'll go on to the rest of the day. So 128, 123. Philadelphia wins this game in overtime. This was a fun game. Philadelphia was up by like what 10, 15 points. And Houston took a nice lead in the fourth quarter, like 5 point lead. But then Philadelphia came back and tied it up. They ended up going to overtime, but Philadelphia kind of dominated the overtime, ended up winning the game. But it was a fun game. Some people were complaining that Reed Shepard, he tonight had 14 off the bench. A few days ago, for San Antonio had 21 off the bench. Once again, had a really good game off the bench tonight, but they didn't really play too much at the end there. Because I think it's because of the defense, right? That's the problem with Houston this year. That well, I think that's the weakness of Reed Shepard, that he's not a good defender. But yeah, I mean, he's so good, man. He's by far like their best player. I mean, honestly, he probably is their best bench player. Even though you have Capella and even Denny Finney Smith, he's probably their best bench player is Reed Shepard. So I know some people were complaining how come he wasn't in the game in overtime. Kevin Durant, he had a good game, 35 points, still missed a few shots, but man, took 21. You can't expect this guy to make every shot. That's the problem too, right? That they want Durant to like be the savior. That's why they brought him here. But 35. I mean, 13 out of 21 is not that bad, I guess. Jabari Smith, 13 points. Sengun, 13, and Sengun's not really doing that good lately. He took 14 shots, only made 5 of them. I don't know, man. Amen Thompson, 17 points for Amen Thompson. And like I said, Shepard with 14. Yeah, that's the thing, man. I think Sengun's got to play better, man. Sengun's got to be getting like 25, 13. Come on, man. Sengun's got to play, and only fucking, man, I don't know. To me, that in this game, that was, and I know you're playing against Joel Embiid and still, but you got to figure out a way Sengun to get more than 13 points, man. Honestly, man. You're supposed to be you and Durant are supposed to be like the two best players, man. Anyways, let's go with the Sixers scoreboard. Joel Embiid, 33 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists, a triple-double for Joel Embiid tonight, man. The guy's, when healthy, the guy's one of the best players in the league, man. Paul George, 10 points. Kelly Oubre, 25 points. Tyrese Maxey, 35 points. See, that's a difference. See, they had they had their top or not even their top player, 2 of their top 3 players with over 30 points, and Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, and then you had Kelly Oubre with 25. That was the difference maker, man. We're Houston, man. Durant had 35, but after that, their highest score was Thompson at 17. So yeah, man, Joel Embiid completely outplayed Sengun, man. 33, 15, and 10 to just like fucking 13 and 9 for Sengun. And then obviously Tyrese Maxey matched up Kevin Durant with 35 himself, and then Oubre with, yeah, man. That was one of the biggest difference, man. Joel Embiid completely outplayed Sengun tonight. But anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about some other stuff here tonight on a Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about some other stuff. Let's see. Wrestling. Let's talk football. Let's go to football. So the Ravens have a new head coach, defensive coordinator from the Chargers. Jesse Minster is their new coach. I had a really good feeling that the Ravens were going to go with a defensive-minded coach, because that's what they've been known for most of their franchise history. Defense. And I know the last few years it drove them crazy, the fact they were not a good defensive team. And plus they got Lamar Jackson. They have Derrick Henry. They have Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. They have enough talent where, unless they hire like a Kevin Patullo, probably can figure out how to be successful with all those weapons. Where if they can get the defense and they can bring that toughness back defensively, they can be really good, man. I think that's what they're planning to do by hiring Jesse Mentor. So I'm not surprised at all with this hire by the Ravens. I'm still now. Let's see, Brian Flores, Pittsburgh. I really thought that either Robert Sala or Brian Flores, at least one of them was going to get hired by either Pittsburgh or Baltimore. So now, I mean, it's down to Brian Flores going to Pittsburgh, right? Because Robert Sala got hired by Tennessee, and now Baltimore, the Ravens instead went with Jesse Mentor, who's another defensive-minded coach. But yeah, let's see if Brian Flores gets hired by the Steelers. Otherwise, I think he's going to stay with Minnesota as a defensive coordinator. Let's see what happens there. The Cowboys, oh my lord, they hired Coach Parker. He was a an offensive coach with the Eagles. He was like a passing game coordinator. They hired him as their defensive. Wow, I couldn't believe this. I had to check this in like 3 times. I couldn't believe Dallas Cowboys hired an offensive-minded coach to be their defensive coordinator. Holy, I don't know what the hell they're thinking. We've seen this in the past. Remember, a few years ago, Matt Patricia tried to do offense after being his whole career on defense, and it went to the shithole. It doesn't usually work out. I don't know what the hell the Cowboys are thinking, hiring Philadelphia Eagles passing game coordinator as their defensive coordinator. That makes me scratch my ass. I don't even have any handroids. I don't know what the hell I don't know what the hell the Dallas Cowboys are thinking by doing this shit, especially with how bad the Eagles offense was this year. I know. I think he's been there for like a few years, so he was there when they were good with Stan Stefanski and excuse me, Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore, right? But still, I don't know, man. A passing game coordinator to be your defensive coordinator, what the fudge? I don't know about that move by the Dallas Cowboys. He will replace Matt Eberflus as the defensive coordinator. I don't know about that move, man. And then, man, we have a little bit of trash talk going on between the Broncos and the Patriots. Apparently, I think what's his name, the defensive lineman Bradley Williams or something. He said something about how, oh yeah, we don't know. They asked him about Jarrett Stidham. He's like, yeah, we don't have a lot of information on Jarrett Stidham. Obviously, there might not be much. There's a reason they're going with Bo Nix instead of Ham. So pretty much saying that there's not much there. That they're not really worried about having to really go up against Jarrett Stidham. And then Sean Payton was like, our fans need to go all out. They need to be energized. They'll have a few weeks to recover after this one. And then I think who was it from the Patriots? I think it was Booty, the receiver. He said, well, they're gonna have more than a few weeks. They're gonna have the whole like 9 months or something, he said, in Cancun. So the Patriots are really trash talking, man. I think they feel really confident that because it's the backup quarterback for the Broncos, man. There's a lot of Bullington material that the Sean Payton and his team are going to be able to use. Bradley Williams, I think the defensive lineman, like I said, he said something about not being concerned about Jarrett Stidham. And then Booty, the receiver, said he thinks they're going to have more than 2 weeks off. Wow, the Patriots are really trash talking. Let's see if that comes back and bites them in the ass. Holy free holies. What else going on in I think there was another move. What else? Let me think. Jim Irsay, I think the Indianapolis Colts owner. They're saying that the FBI is investigating what exactly happened to him to let him passing away. I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it. It's not really football news just because, I mean, he was a former NFL owner, but apparently, I don't know. They're saying that there could have been, I don't know. I don't know, man. Look into it, but apparently the FBI is investigating the passing away of Jim Irsay, saying that there could have been something there more than just a normal, I don't know, allegedly, who knows? Let's not get too much into it. Rest in peace, Jim Irsay, Indianapolis Colts owner. I think that's it. Let's go to wrestling now. So they are saying that WWE is looking at possibly working with Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin. My guy says for WrestleMania. It's gonna be in Las Vegas, that's where he lives, or he lives close in Nevada. So they're saying that I know last year he wasn't. Remember, he ended up crashing his motorcycle with a security barricade. So they're saying expect another. The belief is that the only two places are gonna get Stone Cold Steve Austin nowadays is either if it's in Las Vegas or if it's in Texas. Those are the only places he's willing to work at, apparently. That he lives in Nevada, which is right there, and then he's from Texas, so he's willing to go to Texas. But other than that, apparently he doesn't really want to do a lot of the traveling. So, but the belief is WWE is working with Stone Cold Steve Austin to make some type of an appearance very soon. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. And then another one is that people are saying that AJ Styles' contract is expiring in 11 days, which is around. I think today's it's a little bit into February, but it's around it would be over like the first week of February. That it is very possible that his final match could be at the Royal Rumble versus Gunther, where 10 years ago he arrived in WWE at the Royal Rumble. So it would be a little bit appropriate for him 10 years later to retire at the Royal Rumble, because the contract is expected to expire the first week of February, and Royal Rumble is on January 31st. So, and he's gonna be on SmackDown on Friday. I think they're promoting it as the house that AJ Styles built. So possibly his final appearance on SmackDown. A lot of people are starting to think that AJ Styles might actually retire at the Royal Rumble due to the contract expiring the first week of February, literally a few days after the Royal Rumble. Damn. Well, everybody thought he was gonna get it could make sense. Everybody was like, "How is WWE gonna do like because there's also rumors that Brock Lesnar could retire in the summer. I think John Cena accidentally spoiled it at SummerSlam, which is gonna be in Minnesota, his hometown. So maybe that's part of it too. Like, hey, AJ Styles, how about we retire you at the Royal Rumble where you debuted 10 years ago? If your contract's gonna end up in February, that it's crazy. It's because they're probably gonna want to maybe focus more on Brock Lesnar retirement tour. I don't know. It's crazy. That AJ Styles could be finished, man, here in the next few weeks, man. Holy free holies. It was 10 years, but it went by fast. Because a lot of these wrestlers, man, look at like fucking Seth Rollins, man. I think he's been on for closing on 15 years. And I don't think he has any time of stopping soon. So 10 years doesn't really seem that much. Honestly, like to me, like it went by fast and it's not really that much, but he took forever to get to, I think he didn't get to like the WWE until he was like 35. Like it took him a while to get to the WWE, man. That's the problem. Otherwise, he would have probably had a 15, 25-year career. But anyways, I think that's mostly all I have to say. Trying to think if there's anything else for me to say tonight on Thursday. I don't think there is. There was a baseball move. I think Mackenzie Gore went to the Texas Rangers from the Washington Nationals. There might have been some other moves. I don't know. But anyway, that's pretty much it. AJ Styles, man, thank you, AJ Styles, a phenomenal one. If he does retire here very soon, but mentally start getting prepared, because if you're not, you might just not enjoy his final match.